I have sat in this darkness 10,000 times. Different continents, different millennia, different languages whispered in fear and hope, but always, always, the same night, the winter solstice. December 21st in the modern calendar. The longest night of the year for the Northern Hemisphere. The moment when darkness wins. When the sun reaches its lowest, weakest point. When light seems finally, truly defeated, the moon barely visible. Ancient humans tracked this, obsessively, built monuments to mark it. Stonehenge, New Grange, Machu Picchu, hundreds more. Not just curiosity, terror, because they did not know, not with certainty, that the sun would return. What if this time the sun keeps dying? What if darkness finally wins? What if tomorrow never comes? So they did what conscious beings do when facing the unthinkable. They lit fires, they made offerings, they told stories, they performed rituals, not as entertainment, as cosmic engineering. And here is what I have witnessed across all cultures, all continents, all eras. Humanity, separated by everything, united by one thing, the terror of darkness. And the faith, the desperate and necessary faith, that light will return. Let me show you the night when all fires are one fire, when all gods are the returning light. When all prayers ask the same question, will the sun remember how to rise? First, science, because even to material explanation is profound. Solstice. From Latin, sol, sun, plus sister, to stand still. The sun stands still. For 3 days, round the solstice, the sun's position at noon barely changes. It appears to stop, suspended, hovering between descent and return. The ancient world noticed this. For 3 days, the sun neither rises higher nor sinks lower. It stands still, in the place of death. And then, on the 3rd day, it begins to rise again. Does this sound familiar? A divine light that dies, remains dead for 3 days, then resurrects. 3 days. Darkness. The pattern was written in the sky before humans wrote anything at all. Ancient peoples did not know about axial tilt or elliptical orbits, but they knew patterns, cycles, relationship between sun and life. They knew no sun, no crops, no crops, no food, no food, no survival. The sun was not metaphor. It was life itself, and at the winter solstice, life was dying. So the question became, can we help the sun return? Can human action influence cosmic events? Can consciousness affect matter? And every culture answered, yes, we must. We have no choice. The ritual began. Rome celebrated E Natalis Solis Invicti, the birthday of the Unconquered Sun, on the 25th, not the solstice itself, but the first day when the sun's return was undeniable. When light's victory over darkness was confirmed, Sol Invictus, the unconquered sun, even at its weakest point, even in maximum darkness, light cannot be defeated. By the time of the late Empire, Sol Invictus had absorbed multiple solar cults, Mithras, Apollo, Helios, all merged into one figure, the sun god who dies and resurrects annually. The light that descends into darkness and emerges victorious. Sound familiar? When Constantine converted Rome to Christianity in the 4th century, he did not eliminate Sol Invictus. He reinterpreted him. Christ became a new sun of righteousness, the unconquered light. Born on the 25th, not because that is historically when Jesus was born, but because that is when dying light resurrects. Early Christian art is explicit. Christ depicted with sun rays emanating from his head, standing in Apollo's chariot, described as the sun of righteousness in Scripture. This was not theft. This was recognition. The pattern was already there, in the sky, in the myths, in human consciousness itself. Christ was the pattern made flesh, the story told in human terms. But Rome did not invent the pattern. They inherited it. North, where winters are darkest and longest, the Norse celebrated Yule, 12 nights, beginning at a solstice. 12 nights of feasting, drinking, storytelling, and most importantly, fire. The Yule log was not decoration. It was cosmic necessity. One log, usually oak, massive enough to burn for 12 nights without dying. Its continuous flame represented the sun's life force, kept alive by human will until the sun grew strong enough to sustain itself. If the Yule log went out before the 12 nights ended, it portended death in the family or community. The sun's flame, the family's flame were linked. Consciousness, maintaining consciousness. Light, protecting light. The fire outside reflecting the fire within. And during Yule, the veil between worlds thinned. The wild hunt rode, Odin leading the dead across the sky in a ghostly procession. The darkest time is when death is closest, when the underworld opens, when what is buried comes to the surface. The solstice was not just astronomical, it was psychological, spiritual. The moment when the unconscious rises, and consciousness must prove it can survive. And the evergreens, holly, ivy, pine, mistletoe, in the season, when everything dies, these remain green. They survive the darkness. They prove that life can persist even when death seems total. So humans brought them inside, decorated with them, honoured them, not as pretty ornaments, as proof, as promise, as prayer made visible. If the trees can stay alive, so can we. If green persists, light will return. In Persia, the longest night was called Shabi Yalda, the night of birth. Birth of what? The sun, light itself, hope emerging from maximum despair. Families stayed awake all night, eating watermelon, preserved from summer, red as the sun, sweet as the promise of return. Pomegranates, hundreds of seeds, each one a potential life, fertility promised in death's moment, and poetry, especially Hafez. Mystical poetry about light and darkness, separation and reunion, the soul's journey through matter. Even after all this time, the sun never says to the earth, "You owe me." Look what happens with a love like that. It lights the whole sky. The Zoroastrian understanding, Ahura Master, the Lalt, truth, consciousness, locked in cosmic battle, with Ankara Mainyu, darkness, lies, unconsciousness. The winter solstice is the moment of darkness's maximum power, when evil seems triumphant, when lies appear to have won, but the faithful know. This is also the moment of reversal, the turning point, the pivot where light begins its reconquest. You do not sleep through this night, because consciousness must remain awake. The light within must stay lit to help the light without. And when dawn comes, when the sun rises after the longest night, those who stayed awake feel they have participated in the victory. Not witnessed it, participated in it. Their consciousness, remaining lit through maximum darkness, helped the sun remember how to rise. Magic as technology, ritual as cosmic engineering. The principle is the same across all cultures. Consciousness affects reality, intent shapes outcome. The light within and the light without are connected. Do you see it yet? The pattern beneath the patterns. Fire. Rome lights the sun's altar. The Norse burn the Yule log. Persians keep lamps burning all night. Chinese light lanterns for Dongji. Hopi maintains sacred fires in cavers. Every culture. Fire. Feasting. Saturnalia's banquets. Yule's 12 nights of plenty. Yalda's watermelon and pomegranates. Dongxi's tangyuan. Soil's ceremonial corn. Not just food. Defiance. Abundance proclaimed. When nature offers scarcity. Life celebrated. When death seems victorious. Gift-giving. Saturnalia exchanged presents. Originally wax candles. Light. And clay dolls. Human form. Yule gave offerings to ensure the coming year's prosperity. Why gifts at the darkest time? Because the sun is about to give the greatest gift, returning. We mirror the cosmic gift with human gifts. Reversal. Saturnalia famously reversed social order. Masters served slaves. The lord of misrule governed, chaos reigned. Why? Because the solstice is reversal, the sun that was ascending and descends. Then descends no more, and descends again. Up comes down, death, Catomyth's birth, darkness, gives way to light, social reversal, mirrors cosmic reversal, as above, so below. Evergreens, Norse holly and ivy, Roman laurel wreaths, Chinese pine, Native American cedar, evergreens across every culture that has them. Life that persists, green in the season of death. Promise, made visible. Vigi, Yalda's all-night wakefulness, Christian midnight mass, soil ceremonies, the watch for dawn, consciousness, must remain aware, the inner light must stay lit. You participate in the sun's return by refusing to let your own light die. Different names, different myths, different rituals, same pattern, same fear, same hope, same prayer, humanity looking at the longest night and deciding, we will light fires, we will feast, we will stay awake, we will act as if light will return, and by acting as if it will, we help it happen. This is the deepest magic, not wishful thinking. The understanding that consciousness and cosmos are connected, that the light within can call to the light without. That faith, not blind faith, but active, intentional, ritualized faith, shapes reality. Now watch what happens when cultures personify the sun. When they give the light a face, a story, a divine biography, the same narrative emerges, again and again and again. Mithras, Roman god absorbed from Persia, born from solid rock on the winter solstice, light emerging from matter, consciousness from unconsciousness, life from death, he slays the cosmic bull, sacrificing material power for spiritual truth, ascends to become one with the sun. His birthday, December 25th. The Unconquered Sun, wearing Persian clothes. Horus, Egyptian sky god, his eye the sun. Born to Isis on the winter solstice, light born from maximum darkness, raised in hiding during the weakest time, but growing stronger, always growing stronger, until he can reclaim the throne, defeat chaos, restore order, the sun as rightful king. Amaterasu, Shinto sun goddess, who hides in a cave after being insulted, the world falls into darkness. Nothing grows, death spreads. The gods must perform rituals, dancing, music, laughter, joy, to lure her back. She emerges, light returns, life resumes. The sun returning because it is called back. Because ritual works, because consciousness affects cosmic events. Huitzilopochtli, Aztec sun god who battles his sister Coyolxauhqui, the moon, and his brothers, the stars, every night. He must be strengthened through sacrifice, blood offered, so he will have energy to defeat darkness and rise again. Brutal, yes, but the logic is the same. Human action affects the sun's return. We participate in cosmic events. Light requires consciousness's support. Mithras, Horus, Amaterasu, Huitzilopochtli, Sol Invictus, Apollo, Helios, Ra, different faces, different names, different cultural expressions. Same story. Light descends into darkness, appears defaulted, seems finally dead. Then, through faith, through ritual, through consciousness refusing to accept death as final, light returns, stronger, victorious, unconquered. This is not religion. This is the pattern consciousness creates, when contemplating itself in matter, when light tries to understand its relationship with darkness, when the divine spark tries to explain its imprisonment and eventual liberation, the light body facing its shadow self to emerge wake and enlightened, integrated. Every dying and rising sun god is the same god, the light of consciousness itself, descending into matter, battling unconsciousness, and emerging victorious. The sun is the visible form of this invisible truth. So what happened when Christianity became Rome's official religion? Did they eliminate Sol Invictus, destroy the solstice celebrations, erase the pagan traditions? No, they did something far more effective. They absorbed them. Christ's birth was not recorded in the Gospels. No date given. Early Christians did not celebrate it. But by the 4th century, December 25th was declared his birthday, not because of historical evidence, because that is when the unconquered sun is born. That is when light returns from death. That is when the pattern demands resurrection, and the language made it explicit. Malachi prophesied, "The Son of Righteousness shall arise with healing in his wings." Jesus declared, "I am the light of the world." John's Gospel, "The light shines in darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it." The unconquered sun, with a Jewish name, and the traditions. The Yule log becomes the Christmas log. Evergreens become Christmas trees. It's decorated with lights. The life that persists, made into the symbol of Christ's eternal life. 12 nights of Yule become the 12 days of Christmas. Gift-giving continues, now celebrating the Magi's gifts, but still gifts given at a darkest time. Feasting continues. Saturnalia's abundance becomes Christmas dinner. Even the date, December 25th, originally chose to compete with, and eventually replace, Sol Invictus festival. This was not deception. This was recognition. The Church Fathers understood. The pattern was already there. The dying and rising God. The light born at maximum darkness. The promise of resurrection. Christ did not replace the sun god. Christ was the sun god. The pattern made personal. The cosmic made intimate. The astronomical made theological. Same story. New telling. Deeper meaning. The light that descends into flesh, that dies and resurrects, that promises darkness will never finally win. It is not Christianity or paganism. That is consciousness understanding itself. The divine spark recognizing its journey through matter. Every December 25th, every solstice celebration, every winter festival, we are celebrating the same truth. Light trapped in darkness. Remembering it is light, choosing to shine again. So why do these rituals work? Why do cultures separated by everything do the same things? Because consciousness recognizes consciousness. Because the light within knows the light without. Because the pattern is real. Fire, scientifically. Combustion. Matter transformed into light and heat. Dense material releasing trapped energy. Spiritually, the same thing. The divine spark trapped in material form, released. Consciousness emerging from unconsciousness. Light from darkness. The alchemical reaction. The rising of the phoenix from the ashes. Every fire is a small sun. Every flame is consciousness made visible. When we light fires that solstice, we are not pretending to help the sun. We are recognizing we are the sun. Consciousness is light. Matter is darkness. Fire is the visible form of this truth. Feasting. Biologically, calories. Sustenance. Survival through winter. Psychologically, defiance. When nature offers scarcity, we proclaim abundance. When darkness seems to be winning, we celebrate as if light has already won. This is faith made edible. Hope you can taste. The future made present through action. We eat as if spring is already here, and by eating that way, we help spring come. Gifts. Anthropologically, reciprocity. Social bonds. Community maintained through exchange. Theologically, grace. The unearned gift. The surprise of receiving what you did not merit. The sun does not owe us its return. It comes anyway. That is grace. That is a gift. So we mirror it. Give gifts at the darkest time. Surprise each other with unearned good. Make grace visible through generosity. Evergreens. Botanically, photosynthesis continuing despite cold. Life adapted to survive death's season. Symbolically, the eternal in the mortal. The part of you that does not die. The consciousness that persists even when the body fails. Every evergreen is a promise. Some things survive, some light never dies. Winter is not final. Vigil, neurologically, consciousness maintained through exhaustion. Awareness, choosing to remain aware when sleep beckons. Mystically, the practice of presence, staying awake when unconsciousness calls. Keeping the inner light lit when outer darkness deepens. You stay awake through the longest night to prove consciousness can persist. Awareness survives. The light within does not depend on the light without. You are teaching yourself. I am the light, not just basking in it, being it. So here we are, modern era. We know about axial tilt, orbital mechanics, the sun's fusion reactions. We understand the science. We can predict the solstice to the second. And yet, you still light candles, still hang lights, still bring evergreens inside, still give gifts, still feast with family, still feel something on the longest night. Why? Because the pattern is not just astronomical, it is psychological, spiritual, true in ways that go beyond whether you believe in gods. Darkness affects consciousness, literally, winter depression, seasonal affective disorder. The documented, measurable impact of reduced light on human minds. Ancient peoples did not have the terminology, but they knew darkness makes consciousness harder. Light helps awareness shine. So they fought back. With fire, with ritual, with community, with defiant celebration. And it worked, not because gods intervened, because consciousness supporting consciousness works. Because choosing to shine when darkness presses in actually makes you shine. I have watched 10,000 winter solstices, 10,000 cultures lighting fires, 10,000 languages praying the same prayer, and every single time the sun returns, not because of the rituals, though never underestimate what focused consciousness can do, but because the pattern is real, built into the cosmos, woven into the fabric of existence itself. Light must descend into darkness to know itself as light. Consciousness must experience unconsciousness to value awareness. The divine spark must be buried in matter to understand what divinity means. This is why every mystery tradition, Egyptian, Eleusinian, Mithraic, Gnostic, early Christian, used the same symbolism: descent, death, darkness, 3 days in the tomb, then remembering, rising, return. You have had your own solstices, moments when your light dimmed almost to nothing, when darkness felt permanent, when you could not see how anything could possibly get better. The lost job, the ended relationship, the diagnosed illness, the death of someone irreplaceable, the depression that makes getting out of bed feel impossible, your own longest nights, the dark night of the soul. And in those moments you faced the solstice choice: extinguish completely, or keep even smallest flame alive. Light one candle, call one friend, take one step. Maintain one shred of hope, even when hope seems stupid, but because you know it will work, but because staying conscious through darkness is how consciousness survives. And then, sometimes imperceptibly, sometimes suddenly, the turn happens. Not because you earned it, not because you deserved it, but because the pattern is real. Light returns. It always returns. Not because of optimism or wishful thinking, because that is how consciousness works. That is the structure of reality. Descent requires ascent. Darkness gives birth to light. The longest night always precedes the returning dawn. So when you light your Christmas candles, or Hanukkah menorah, or Yule log, or Kwanzaa kinara, or Diwali diya, or just a single candle on the longest night, know what you are doing. You are joining 10,000 years of humans who looked at maximum darkness and said, "No, I'll choose light." You are participating in the oldest ritual, the most universal prayer. The pattern that spans all cultures, all religions, all human experience. Light trapped in darkness, choosing to shine anyway. The sun does not need your help to return. The axial tilt will continue regardless of your rituals, but you need the ritual. You need to light the fire. You need to participate in the turning, because you are the light trying to return. You are the sun at its weakest point. You are consciousness battling to stay aware in maximum darkness. And by lighting fires outside, you remember to keep the fire inside burning. By celebrating the sun's return, you practice your own resurrection. By holding faith through the longest night, you prove that consciousness can survive anything. And every year, without fail, the sun returns. The light that seemed dead was only resting, gathering strength, preparing for the ascent. 3 days in the darkness, then resurrection. The pattern holds. The promise is kept. The prayer is answered, not because gods intervene, though if gods exist, they built this pattern into creation, but because this is creation. This is how light works. This is the relationship between consciousness and matter, spirit and flesh, a divine spark and its temporary imprisonment. So light your fires tonight, however you name them. Christmas candles, Hanukkah lights, Yule logs, Kinara flames, simple candles on windowsills, all the same fire, all the same prayer. All of us, separated by everything, united by this. We are light. We have descended into darkness. We have experienced longest night, and we choose to shine anyway. The sun has returned. Again, as it always does, as it always will, the light that never truly dies. Welcome back, brightness. We kept the fires burning. We remembered for you, until you remembered yourself. Until we all remember ourselves.